So for this video, I was looking for buildings that were under construction, such as this one over here. Luckily in Ithaca over the summer, these are quite abundant. The reason I did this is because I felt it tied in nicely to the topic I wanted to discuss today. Another reason I wanted to draw this connection with buildings is because it gives me a nice opportunity to show you some of the nice buildings that we have around Cornell's campus. So without further ado, hope you enjoy a little tour of Cornell's campus. What's going on, everybody? So in case you didn't realize, I'm filming from a new location today. This is our workspace for one of our labs. This over here is my desk. I have a nice calendar with a rhinoceros on it. I have my own little scientific stapler. And I have a list of commands for when I'm doing computational work. All that good stuff to help you be a good scientist. So for today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is the central dogma of biology. This is an important concept for biologists to understand because, as the name suggests, it's central to understanding biological systems. To start off with, what is the central dogma of biology? The idea was first credited as being introduced by Francis Crick in the late 1950s. So we've known about this for a good time now. In Crick's description, he explains the basic flow of how genetic information in your DNA is used to produce the proteins that serve as tools for your body. In the central dogma of biology, we first start off with DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid. So drawing this connection to the intro, you can think of DNA as being the blueprint for a building. DNA serves as the blueprint for all life, and each life form has its own unique instruction manual. It tells you things like where each piece goes and how big each piece will be. Now, DNA is a huge blueprint that describes the whole building, and your cells only need very specific parts of this blueprint. It's not really practical to take the entire thing to the factory or building site where you make only a very specific part, or in the cell's case, a specific protein. This blueprint is also very delicate. If it gets messed up, coffee gets spilled on it. It catches on fire. It gets run over by a bulldozer. These things can be a huge problem. So the solution that the cell uses is to make a disposable copy of just one part of the DNA. This copy is called ribonucleic acid, or RNA. This is the second step of the central dogma. The process of creating this copy is called transcription. This RNA copy sends information from the DNA blueprint to the building site or factory to make the needed parts. And this transitions us to the last piece of the central dogma. Now the final step is when the cell takes the RNA and then uses that in order to produce the protein through a process called translation. These proteins will do a majority of the work in the cell, and these proteins can come in various shapes and sizes and structures. These differences in shape, size, and structure are what allow these proteins to do very specific jobs. These jobs include a wide number of things, including coordinating growth, providing structure for the cell, transporting small cargo within the cell, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Proteins can do much, much more. Additionally, these proteins can team up into complexes in order to do very specific jobs. You can kind of think of these protein complexes as pieces of construction equipment, where each piece of equipment has various different parts, but they all work together to accomplish a certain goal. Let's take a step back a little bit and summarize at a general level what is the central dogma of biology. So to start off with, you have DNA, which serves as the blueprint for the body. This DNA is then used to produce RNAs through a process called transcription. The RNA serves as a messenger in order to tell the cell how to make specific tools. Cells will use these RNAs in order to make protein through a process called translation. Proteins will ultimately do most of the work in the cells and dictate how the cell functions. Something to note here is that according to the central dogma, you can go from DNA to RNA to protein, but the same process does not occur in reverse. In other words, you can't go from protein and end up with DNA. This is a very simplified overview, and it will only get more complicated as you start digging deeper. Now, I wanted to do this video on the central dogma because I felt that it was very important for understanding future videos I might post on biology-related topics. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe down below. If you have any questions, think that this explanation was too simple, or think that it was too complicated, make sure you leave a comment down below. Any feedback that you have is really valuable for me. And with that, I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.